Aloha Mai Kako, a Komawai, a curtain call, a program of reviews, previews, interviews, and features of and or with the great art and artists on Maui and beyond. I'm Paul James Brown. The last time King Kekaulike Drama did Bye Bye Birdie, it was in that unfortunate place called the Cafetorium 8 years ago. This time, it was in their state-of-the-art multi-million-dollar performing arts center, and what a difference. This was a huge, complex, and extremely successful production of Charles Strouse Lee Adams' 1960 musical Bye Bye Birdie that starred Chita Rivera and introduced Dick Van Dyke to Broadway. Directed by Chris Kepler with musical direction from Casey Nagata, it was as close to Broadway as a high school musical can get. Unlike so many others that are relying on tracks, King Kekaulike is fortunate to have Casey Nagata as their music director, and he has been training a top-notch big band with alums going on to major careers as professional musicians since he arrived at King Kekaulike. The pit band added so much to the professional, big-time musical feel of this show. He has one of the best trumpet sections you can find, and the students were supported by one of Maui's top players, Cody Sarmiento, only on the night I saw it. Another welcome addition to the band was Clay Logue on keyboards. Other alums included Vince Satoza bass, Kevin Fukumoto Jr. tenor sax, Eric Deal and Cy Leo multi-reeds. The play came out of the 1957 induction of the King, Elvis Presley, into the Army. The conceit is Albert Peterson, Canon Birch, is a mama's boy record producer who is not doing very well. His Mexican girl Friday and would-be wife, Rose Alvarez, Betty Russo, comes up with an idea. Their star client, Conrad Birdie, Chaz Provost, will bestow a last kiss on one of his 1.5 million fans before heading off to the induction center. It will be a great publicity stunt, rescue them from their debt, and allow Albert to do what she really wants him to do, become an English teacher and marry her. The lucky fan is Kim McAfee, Kekaulike Kepler of Sweet Apple, Ohio, and the scene shifts to this quintessential all-American town where all of the girls are in love with Conrad Birdie. We hear, "We love you, Conrad," many times throughout the show. Kim's father, Harry Mackay Newstein, is at once opposed to this idea until he learns they will be on the Ed Sullivan Show. Then there is a great scene where the family mother, Doris Bella Collins, and their son, Randolph Devin Guzman, join Harry and Kim to sing the almost holy church-like anthem, Ed Sullivan, Hymn for Sunday Evening. At the conclusion, we see in what esteem Ed Sullivan was held. Unfortunately, Kim has a jealous boyfriend, Hugo Peabody, Ethan Bisa, and he knocks Conrad out on national television before he can kiss his girl. Needless to say, this does not have a positive impact on his relationship with Kim. The second act opens up with Rose and Kim questioning their relationships in the song, What Did I Ever See in Him? Then Kim and Conrad kind of hook up in the song, A Lot of Livin' to Do. Despite her father's forbidding her, Kim escapes with Conrad, and this inspires a search and destroy mission led by the McAfees. Here, mother and father sing Kids, where they lament, "Why can't they be like we were, perfect in every way? What's the matter with kids today?" While Kim is off to the ice house with Conrad, Rose decides she will head on down to the local pub for some mischief. She sings and dances a sultry song, Spanish Rose. Things get out of hand with Conrad and Kim. The cavalry in the form of the family, Conrad fans, and Hugo show up just in the nick of time. The fans manhandle Conrad and leave him bruised and torn up for the police, who haul him away. Albert bails him out, disguises him as Rose, and puts him on the train to the Army. Rose shows up as ordered at 6:30 a.m. and finds out the train back to the city has left. But they are going to Iowa to his new English teacher job, and they are to be married. They close the show with the marvelous Rosie. As Rose Alvarez, Betty Russo displayed such tolerance, patience, and understanding in the light of her undeserving boyfriend and his abusive racist mother, her songs, especially What Did I Ever See in Him and Spanish Rose, were terrific. She has a nice belt to her voice as well. Kekaulike Kepler's Kim was perfect. She embodied a 15-year-old. She understood the petulance, impulsiveness, and nearing womanly maturity that age brings. Her scene when she called her parents by their first names was hilarious. Ms. Kepler has a beautiful soprano voice, and she showed it off best in that lovely ballad, One Boy. Ken and Birch's Albert Peterson showed us a young man who was torn between his two loves, his mother and his personal assistant, Secretary Rose. He wanted to please his mother, but he can't survive without Rose, who kept everything together for him. He really doesn't deserve her, and you wonder throughout the show what she saw in him. Master Peterson is quite the dancer, as he showed in his best number, Put on a Happy Face, which he performed with an equally fine dancer, Constance Pupar Vasquez. Also, his final song, Rosie, was very well done. As the megastar Conrad Birdie, Chaz Provost has matinee idol good looks, surfer dude blonde hair, and pelvic thrusts that would make the king blush. Master Provost displayed the swagger, ego, and complete selflessness of this character with unapologetic glee. Everything he did was kingly, particularly honestly sincere, where he caused mass fainting spells by his sensuous pelvic thrusts. In the second act, his Such a Lot of Livin' to Do was another high point. Kim's father, Harry, Mackay Newstein, nearly stole the show. Master Newstein's gravelly nasal voice worked to bring out the character, and his transformation when he found out they were going to be on the Ed Sullivan Show was another marvelous moment. In the second act, when he vowed to hunt down Birdie with a kid's bow and arrow, was another hysterical scene provided by Master Newstein in a portrayal filled with them. Ethan Bice's Hugo was mucho macho. He only got to sing in One Boy, when he intones one girl, and he showed off a sincere vocal instrument. He and Ms. Kepler had fun playing together, it was clear. He had a great moment when he leapt in the air in defiance to Kim and Conrad, asserting his machismo once again. Then we come to Albert and Rose's foil, Mae Peterson. His distraught mother, McKenna Hartwick, found the balance between an obsessed protective mother and a woman who is of a certain age and sees a future she doesn't want. Ms. Hartwick's Mae does everything she can to torpedo the relationship between her mama's boy son and his unacceptable Mexican girlfriend, from feigning suicide to providing him with some sweet young things, the appropriately named Rasputin sisters, Freya Myers-Arnault and Charlie Zielinski, to distract him from Rose. Her New York dialect was nicely done, and she had some fine athletic physical moments as well. There wasn't a weak link in this huge cast. Ms. Collins' mother, Doris, was most maternal, and she shined in kids. Master Guzman's Randolph was as bratty a brother as could be, and showed off a fine set of pipes in Ed Sullivan, him for a Sunday evening. The mayor's wife, Capua Villanueva, asserted herself in all of her scenes. Everyone should be delighted with the work they did. I know the audience was. A word about the audience. There isn't a more supportive and appreciative audience anywhere. They cheered, screamed, and enthusiastically supported everyone and every moment of the show. Mr. Kepler choreographed most of the show. He was assisted on Happy Face and Spanish Rose by Rachel Lockhart and on Kids by Michaela Fujita, who was also the assistant director. The big numbers were amazing. I cannot imagine the work it took to put these together. A word about the lighting. There were 125 lighting cues in the show, and they were all designed by a student, Casey Buzianis, who also was the light board operator. Wonderful work. Have to say something about the costumes. The poodle skirts, Mae's coat, Birdie's leather and gold suit, the mayor's wife's outfit. The show looked great, and it was all done by students. Capua Villanueva, Betty Russo, and Michaela Fujita get the accolades for this. Mr. Kepler has built a fine high school program. In the audience the night I saw the show was Miss Sue Ann Loudon, who was Mr. Kepler's mentor and who I am certain was so proud of him, as we all are. Bravo, Mr. Kepler. We need to get you some money so you don't have to kill yourself doing everything and just focus on directing. If you missed this show, too bad. Keep your eyes out for what he will be doing next season. Well, that's Curtain Call for this week. Mahalo nui loa for tuning in. I'm Paul James Brown. Ahui ho.